Here's Mummy's Head right there, and then there's the northern ridge line of Kyle Canyon. And another area potential route we're looking at, a couple different potential routes, would be up the Foxtail Canyon area to head up to the north ridge of Kyle Canyon, and you'd end up on this ridge, I believe, and then you can see that you could angle your way up to the summit of that ridge line, or you could take the ridge over to the right there or south, and you could head up and summit at this point. I believe this point of the ridge line is you're on the North Loop Trail, just below Lee Peak, so that could be a great way to go. But if we ascended from the Foxtail Canyon area, we'd end up in this spot, which is close to the approach to Mummy Mountain. And yeah, that's a ridge we've been on before when we took the upper ridge of Kyle Canyon between Mummy Mountain and Lee Peak. And you can see that on Las Vegas area trails. Wherever we summit this ridge line, we'll be in familiar territory because we've been along this entire ridge line from the Kyle Canyon area, never from Lee Canyon. So that's a future adventure. I want to get up to that ridge line from Lee Canyon, which would open up the whole loop, the Charleston Loop, from the Lee Canyon area, and maybe even a more direct route than going from Kyle Canyon and the Canyon trailhead. So anyway, just a thought of what's coming in the future with Las Vegas area trails. And then there's a good shot of Lee Peak. And you see part of the Lee Canyon ski area. It looks like there's a fire break up here that goes all the way to the summit of Lee Canyon. And that could also be a route. You can see routes. You notice I'm scoping out those routes up to the summit area of north ridge of Kyle Canyon. And there's that ridge. And you can see various approach areas if you look closely. So that's good news. And I think that those areas would be roughly from the Foxtail Canyon area, and would be, I don't know, it could be actually this area down here, which we've been on, in that area, that residential area before, and then we actually headed up this gully up in this direction. We didn't get all the way up, but we got a good way upward. So yeah, lots of possibilities. Look carefully if you're ever thinking of heading up to the upper ridge of Kyle Canyon above, because these are some good shots of potential routes to the top, and we'll take one or more of those hopefully this summer. We don't know. Okay, we may actually be looking across Lee Canyon at the Foxtail Canyon Springs area where we were a year or so ago. And then you can see the green band of grass, light green plants leaning upward from that area, and then some potential routes up beyond that to the summit of Kyle Canyon from Lee Canyon. So yeah, we're still scoping these out. And if you were heading up the Mummy's Head, you would be heading up this area up through there. It looks a bit steep, but there are trees all the way up, so if it's not too steep for the trees, so it's not like bare cliff. And you head in between and then maybe angle over to the left or the right to hit the summits up there. And we'll do that later. We'll see. I don't do anything above class 3 climbing, so if I hit an area that is looking a little bit class 4 or 5, yeah, I'll turn around, which I've done before, as you know, if you've looked at my videos. But at least I'll get you up to the point where that class 4 begins, and if you're a class 4 climber, you can take it from there and maybe show me what you did. And by the way, another approach to Lee, from Lee Canyon up to the rim of Kyle Canyon up there is, you can see straight down to Lee Canyon Road, and we're looking down at that meadow. It's a pretty obvious meadow when you're driving on Lee Canyon Road, and you can park across from that meadow on the east side of Lee Canyon Road, head up a ridge over there, and just basically angle your way up this ridge to this point. So there are a lot of potential routes that we're gonna test them and see what is the most direct and least least energy to get up to that point. Because once we get up there on that higher ridge, we're going to want to go to Lee Peak and potentially Charleston Peak, and you can see the two peaks right up here. Lee on your left, Charleston on your right. So yeah, we're going to eventually want to go there, or maybe we turn the other direction and head up the west side of Mummy, and you can see where the rocks begin. If you've seen any of my videos ascending the main route up Mummy, you hit those rocks and then angle around toward the summit. And you look at Mummy Mountain West, that video on Las Vegas Area Trails, and you can see where we took that route. And as a matter of fact, this is the point at that avalanche slope where you actually reach the, right in the center there, where you reach the summit of the Kyle Canyon Ridge when you're ascending from the North Loop Trail, the Charleston Loop, and then you take a left from this direction. It's right when you're heading up from Kyle Canyon, and you head on up to Mummy. And as I said, we've got a number of videos and examples of that route. And that's actually the most popular, nicest route up to Mummy Mountain summit from Kyle Canyon. Charleston and Lee Peaks. Charleston is the higher one there. And then the upper ridge of Kyle Canyon. And then good shot of different potential approaches up to Mummy's Head and to the main summit of Mummy. By the way, Mummy's Head on the left, the main summit on the right, and then there are canyons down there that you can see the ski run for the Lee Canyon ski area. And then this, I believe, this little canyon right here, you see the green ribbon there. I believe that is the Foxtail Canyon area. And there are potential approaches up to the summit, although it does look very steep everywhere you look. So, we'll see at some point.